Coach, go ahead and give us your opening thoughts on tonight's game.
Sure. Well, I thought in the first period, which is kind of the story of the game, I thought we actually played pretty well, with the exception of a couple of moments when we were weak in our D zone. But we held them to 7 shots in the period, and for the most part, I thought we played really well. One of the keys going into the game, we just didn't want to be loose, or when we gave them chances, we didn't want to give them point blank chances, and it ill-advised change on the first goal. I can't really remember the second, but I know it was another error of a lapse in our defensive zone. Then we got a lot better, but it wasn't like the first was always that way. I mean, I thought we played really well in the first, had some good looks. Second, again, it was an even period. We each scored a goal. Shots were pretty much even. I think on the night we had the better of the scoring chances, though. So we got to stick with it. We got to finish our chances that we have. But I like the fact that from a defensive standpoint, outside of the first period, and even that was in the last, it was just 2 plays almost in a row. I do remember the one where 2 had it in the corner and got stripped. But nevertheless, our center's got to be in the middle. He's got to stop on that and help defend, and we didn't. But the penalty kill was dynamite, 0 for 5, so another step in the right direction there. I thought our power play, although 0 for 4, we got 6 shots on net, and we generated some chances. So, I don't mind if we roll the same game out tomorrow, finish our opportunities, and just eliminate a couple of squeaky plays. And then, when we pull the goalie, what's the chance of that flip going in the net? My God, it's just one of those things that happen. But and then I thought Logan played really well. The one issue he had, I thought, was playing the puck early, where he turned it over a couple times. Made it difficult on himself, but settled down after the first and played very well. And so did their kid Scholl in net. I thought he had an outstanding game.
Coach, what was the transition like and the message heading into the third period? You guys knew that you were down 3-1, but you guys played so well. Maybe not putting the puck in the back of the net in those first 2 periods, but you guys played so well.
Well, thank you. And no, it was almost kind of what you probably would predict. It was like, that was a good period. Let's do more of the same here. We don't need anyone going off script and trying to do it all themselves, because that'll just backfire. We have to stay. And I thought for the most part we did. What did hurt us, though, was the 2 penalties in the third. That took 4 minutes off the clock, where we had to defend and be in our zone, and we couldn't be on the attack. And when Schleppe took his, the hit behind, the hit below the goal line from behind, it was at end of a minute and a half time period where we had him hemmed in, and all of a sudden we let him off the hook and we got a kill. So those are the kind of plays there that when you're really thinking team, you don't have those kind of errors.
The score at the end might reflect that you would want to change something going into tomorrow, but because you've played so well in all 3 of those periods, do you guys wish to change anything going into Bemidji tomorrow?
Well, it's hard to say that right now, because it's like 15 minutes after the game. I'd like to watch the video, and so there's 2 changes you make. One could be personnel. We'll look to see if there's some guys that didn't have a good game. And then the other is, I don't know that we need to change anything strategically, maybe tweak a couple things. But I just think we need to execute better on the things we're trying to do. And like I said, I thought we took a stride in the right direction in a lot of ways. We just a little bit off in the first, and it ended up in our net. It wasn't awful, but it was, things that we just can't have, and we can't give them. We gave them so few opportunities, but when we gave them a chance, it was a big one, and that can't happen.
Coach, like you mentioned, you played great on shorthanded defense today. How do you translate that over to your offense?
Well, that should help. It should give us some momentum. It really should. What hurts, though, is, for instance, one of the maybe on both penalties in the third, I used Venuto and Branchow, our 2 leading scorers, to kill. So now, instead of them being in a position to score, they're catching their wind when we're 5-on-5. And you'd say, well, don't put them out there. Well, we don't want to get scored on and make it 4-1. We want to make sure it stayed a 2-goal game. So, consequently, you go with what you consider your, two of your best penalty killers, but then we tire them out. So, while, you get some momentum from a good kill, we lose the opportunity to have our top line that scored the only goal we had on the ice.
Obviously, like you said, the final score doesn't reflect the play tonight, but how do you keep this team motivated going into tomorrow?
Well, I think we should be plenty motivated. I really do. I think we don't sweat the result tonight as much as we sweat the details. We'll dig into the details of it and not get caught up in the actual result, because there's nothing we can do about that now. That's in the rearview mirror. All we can do is win tomorrow night and continue to work on there. And we're really trying to preach to the guys. You've got to play. We only scored a goal, but the reality is we had plenty of chances. You'll score goals when you play great defense, and I give our team a B right now today on defense, our defensive play, and at times a C at the end of the first period. We tighten it up. We continue to work on that, and I think it'll lead to offense at the other end of the rink.